Look at the size of this guy. Yeah, I'm alright.
Is it, buddy? Right?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm making a video.
Of what?
The police building.
Okay, why are you filming people's cars when they're coming out of there then? Because they're personal cars, aren't they?
Yeah, because they're in public.
Well, they're not in public at the moment.
Who are you?
I'm a police officer.
Alright.
You want to see my ID?
Yeah, I would really expect you to show it to me. Yeah.
Here you go. Detective Sergeant Jamie Wiseman.
DS, yeah.
Okay.
And any detective work to be getting on with, or
Well, no, I'm due to be
more
going
worried
home now.
about? All right, then go home then.
No, I'm more worried about you filming people's private cars. Police officers get a bit jumpy about that.
The officer opens with a line that sounds calm and reasonable, concern about someone filming private vehicles. It feels like a polite warning, almost protective. But this approach is often used to shift control early in the interaction. By mentioning privacy, personal details, and safety, the aim is to make the other person second-guess themselves. It creates hesitation where there was none before. But when you step back and look at the legal position, the picture is very clear. In the UK, there's no law that bans recording vehicles that are visible from a public space. If a car is out on a public road, it can be seen, and what can be seen can generally be recorded. This is a well-established principle, not a gray area or a loophole. Number plates are not hidden or private information. They are intentionally displayed, so they can be identified in public. That's their exact purpose. Every day, thousands of devices capture them without issue. Dash cams, street cameras, and official monitoring systems. This kind of recording is routine, expected, and fully lawful, so the concern raised at the start doesn't quite match reality. The issue isn't really about number plates or privacy. It appears more like an attempt to justify intervention where no clear legal boundary has been crossed. When you understand the law, the situation becomes much easier to read.
Why?
Why?
Something
Because
to
people
hide or
don't like
something?
us.
Okay,
Some
well I'm
people
not.
have a vengeance against police officers,
Well,
and you're
don't.
filming our personal cars when we come out.
But I don't.
That makes me very jumpy.
Just to let you know as well, we're on body or video as well, okay?
All right. Why are you? What are you jumpy about?
Well, my personal details going out on social media or something like that.
Like you're just assuming that it's gonna go on social media. Do you know any of this? Like you're just assuming.
No, I'm
like...
asking you.
Okay. What do you want me to say? Like,
Well, I want you to tell me what you're going to do with that information.
it's my own recreation. Whatever I please to do with it.
So what makes you want to do it then?
I'm not interested in anyone's private plates. Who can pull information from your reg?
So why are you filming the cars when they come out of there then?
Because this is what I'm choosing to do with my time today.
Yeah, but why are you doing that? Did you say
I
you're not
wanna film.
interested in people's private
No,
plates?
I'm not.
You're recording when they come out of there.
What can I do with someone's private plate? Only yourselves in the
I've got
DVLA
no
can
idea.
pull that
I've
info.
got no idea.
Okay, well rest
But
assured I'm not
it makes
interested.
me feel very uncomfortable.
Alright, well Sergeant, rest assured I'm not interested in harming anyone or using your plate for any sort of
And also,
ulterior motives.
Being a police station, okay, this is a target of anyone for anything. And that makes me quite nervous that you're actually filming a police station.
Well, I can do it. I'm in public. I can film any police station I like. Do you think this is a valuable target for
Yeah, I do.
who?
I've got no idea.
Like who?
It's a police station.
So what, has this police station been attacked before? Like where's the basis for this argument coming from? Like
He begins to show signs of unease, claiming that recording police vehicles could somehow put officers at risk. On the surface, that sounds like a serious concern, and if there were real intelligence or documented threats behind it, that would be a different story. But then comes the turning point. One simple question from the auditor changes everything. The officer pauses, hesitates, and then admits he has no concrete example to support his claim. That moment speaks volumes. Not a single case, not one incident he can point to. Yet despite that, the argument is still being used to justify a potentially intrusive search. This is where vague security reasoning often comes into play. It leans heavily on fear and uncertainty rather than solid evidence. It sounds convincing at first, but the moment you dig deeper, the foundation quickly falls apart. Think about it logically. If recording number plates had ever been linked to real threats against police, it would be widely known. It would be part of official training, regularly discussed in briefings, and clearly referenced in situations like this. But there's silence on that front, because those examples simply don't exist. The auditor then raises a sharp and practical point. If someone were truly planning harmful reconnaissance, would they really do it out in the open, standing in clear view, holding a camera, and openly speaking with officers? That doesn't align with how genuine covert surveillance works. Real reconnaissance is discreet, calculated, and hidden, not a visible, casual interaction on a public footpath.
Or anything, or
No, I'm holding it.
still work some of it?
Why do you want to have a look?
Just asking, question
No, you're
mark.
good.
Just
But
curious.
what's wrong with just chill, man? Why you got such an attitude, like?
Attitude.
It's filming, bro. Rest assured, it's filming. Like, I don't think this is a valuable target for a terrorist. Has the police station ever been attacked
Yeah. up in
by a
London,
terrorist? Has they?
Yeah. London
Which
police
one?
stations have been attacked quite regularly.
I don't think they have.
Okay.
Name a few.
Well, name one then.
So, yeah.
So you can't name them, but you're saying that it's happening. Well, which one then?
I can tell you, but I won't say.
What?
I can tell you, but I won't.
You can tell me, but you won't.
Yeah.
All right, that's
It's
a bit odd.
it's
I
like
don't know
the
why.
same as you, not giving a reason for being here.
Yeah, but I'm not making an argument that police stations have been attacked before.
Okay. Search the internet. You might find some information.
I have. I wouldn't be irresponsible and do this if I didn't know that. If this was like a genuine security risk and this genuinely posed a threat, I wouldn't be irresponsible and come and do this. Believe me. And if this was behaviour that I knew that terrorists engaged in,
But it is.
I would
They
have.
film
No, it's
targets. They definitely-
overtly
Well, they might
with
do.
this little crappy
How do
little
I know you're
gimbal.
not a terrorist? How do I know that? How do I know that?
You don't know that, but you have to go
Exactly
based
right.
on what you do know. There needs to be an objective
Yeah, so
basis.
What I do know is I've got a man who's not willing to give his details stood in front of me who's filming police stations.
Okay,
So that's what I do know. That's the facts.
okay.
Is it not?
So me filming does not implicate me as any sort of like prospective terrorist
No, but
or
it raises
otherwise.
my suspicion.
Well, you can be suspicious all you want. Like it's not a crime. You suspecting me of doing something is not a crime. You need to have some sort of reasonable suspicion or objective basis to suspect me as a terrorist.
No, well, at the moment, I think you are filming a police station
Yeah.
with no reason to do that. You are refusing to give your details. I have no idea where that information's going, and I know you have filmed other Hampshire police stations.
Now you can see the detective's argument start to unravel. He begins listing the auditor's actions one by one, filming a police station, declining to share personal details, visiting multiple locations with a camera. Then he jumps to a serious conclusion, suggesting this somehow points to a major security concern. It sounds dramatic, but let's slow it down and examine it properly. Each of those actions, taken on its own, is completely lawful. Recording from a public place is allowed. Choosing not to provide personal details is within your rights. Moving between locations while filming is not a crime. These are everyday, legal activities carried out by countless people without issue. There's nothing inherently suspicious in any of them. That what's happening here is a method often referred to as stacking. Separate lawful actions are grouped together and presented as if the combination suddenly creates suspicion. But legality doesn't change just because you list things back to back. If each individual act is within the law, combining them doesn't magically create wrongdoing. At its core, this kind of reasoning doesn't establish real grounds. It creates the appearance of them. And that's an important distinction. When you strip it back, what you're left with is simply someone exercising their rights in a public space, not evidence of any serious threat.
Okay, so how do we proceed?
I don't know, do we have a power of search? Section 44? 43, is it? I think we can do that. I think we can do that.
You sure you want to do that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
I don't think you got grounds for a
I'm
section
telling
43
you-
search.
Well, I'm telling you, I think I do, okay? So,
Yeah, well, it's not about thinking. This is objective. It's not an opinion,
Okay,
is it?
okay, look.
The legislation's black and white. It's not I think.
you can have this conversation with the solicitor afterwards and they can come after me at a later date. That's absolutely fine, okay?
Okay.
That's your right.
So you're going to abuse my rights now, yeah?
Okay, no, I'm not. I'm going to use our powers. So
Okay.
what I'm saying, I find your behaviour very suspicious.
Okay.
You are filming not just this police station in Hampshire, but other police stations in Hampshire. You can give me no legal,
Listen to what you're saying,
you can
Hampshire.
give no legal reason why you are doing
Okay.
that, other than because you want to.
Yeah,
You are
that's- I don't
refusing
need
your
a
details,
reason.
So we can't even verify who you are or what you are doing it for. Therefore,
I'm not obliged to
I
give
consider
details.
that to be quite a big terrorist risk. Okay, so you are now detained for this search.
Okay.
Okay, under what is it, section 43 of the Terrorism Act?
Can I leave this running?
Okay, of course you can, absolutely.
Let's break down what Section 43 actually demands, because this is where the standard becomes very clear. Under the Terrorism Act 2000, an officer can only carry out a stop and search if there are reasonable grounds to suspect someone is involved in terrorism. Not a feeling, not a guess, and certainly not just unease. It must be based on objective, identifiable facts that would stand up to scrutiny. Now apply that standard to the situation. Filming a building from a public place is not an offense. Choosing not to identify yourself is a legal right. Simply being in a certain area with a camera does not turn ordinary behavior into something suspicious. These are lawful actions, and the law does not treat them as indicators of terrorism. There is also formal guidance backing this up. The National Police Chiefs Council has made it clear that photography in public, on its own, is not sufficient grounds for a Section 43 search. That guidance exists to prevent exactly this kind of overreach to SO. When you measure the situation against the actual legal threshold, the gap becomes obvious. Without solid, objective evidence, the requirement for reasonable suspicion simply isn't met.
So these officers are going to search you now in order to see if there is anything that needs to raise that suspicion even further.
So what items? Who's conducting the search firstly?
These two are going to conduct the search.
But you've just
Yeah, I've
launched
given
with
you
it.
grounds.
So what are these officers going to be searching for?
Anything related to terrorism.
Such as
or
what? That's a bit abstract, isn't it? Any sort of
Well, it
specific
is.
items?
Not at the moment. That's what
Maps?
that's what we are doing it for. Or it might say he's on a terrorist watch list, and then we've got something to worry about, haven't we? So
You're not going to find my.
searching.
You're not going to find my info
Okay,
though.
that's fine. But they're going to search you for that purpose.
This
okay?
power doesn't. I don't have to provide my information in this power.
No, I'm not asking to provide anything. I'm
But you
saying
just
they're
said
gonna search you.
you're hoping to find ID, this and that. Like,
Yeah, if they find it, we'll look at it.
Pay close attention to how the search unfolds. The auditor asks a simple, direct question. What exactly are they looking for? The response comes back vague. Anything linked to terrorism. No clear item. No defined objective. Nothing specific. That answer alone raises serious concerns about the basis of the search. Think about the standard that's supposed to apply here. These are significant powers, meant to be used with precision and clear justification. Yet here, there's no focused aim. No identifiable evidence being sought. When officers cannot clearly explain what they're searching for, it suggests a lack of solid grounds from the outset. This is where the distinction becomes important. Proper policing is guided by intelligence and defined purpose. It follows a line of reasoning backed by facts. But when a search is carried out without clarity or direction, it starts to look less like targeted action and more like a broad attempt to find something, anything, to justify the stop after the fact.
That's what's going to happen.
can I get your collar number, please?
Yeah, 3358. Detective Sergeant Jamie Wiseman, Southampton Police Station, Hampshire.
It's abusing civil rights at the moment. Yeah, it's my
Okay,
perfect
that's
right to
fine.
film it from public.
Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah. So then, why are you infringing on that?
I've told you that.
So you've already been told the grounds.
All right. Why don't you call me sir? How about that?
Okay, sir, you've already been told the grounds. So
Okay.
PC file from Southampton Central Police
Alright.
Station. The reason we're searching you is because you're acting suspicious outside a police
I
station.
thought he explained the grounds.
Yeah, no, we've got to go through something prior to doing the search.
Go wisely, yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yes,
Let my colleague explain it.
there we go.
Sure.
Okay, so that's obviously the grounds for the search. You can see my warrant card if you'd like to see my
No,
warrant
it's
card.
cool.
Okay.
Let's get on with it.
Of the search is in order to essentially see if there is anything that you have on your possessions that is involved with terrorism, okay, or anything. Okay. So
Steve, hands away from your waist whilst my colleague searching it. In the meantime, maybe take your bag off your shoulders, please.
This ain't good, you know.
Hey?
Sergeant, this isn't good. Okay, you done with that? Like, do you want to keep? Why are you keeping hold of that?
Opening and closing it. That's all I'm doing is opening and closing.
Can I have my property back?
No, not yet. We haven't finished the search. Still detained for this moment of time.
Yeah.
722.
Who are they? Is that the counter-terrorism unit?
Is it?
Is it? Yeah. No.
Counter-terrorism rules don't work here.
Were you expecting to find like an ISIS membership card or something?
What unfolded here is a textbook illustration of how these powers can be stretched beyond their proper limits. There was no clear evidence, no supporting intelligence, and no defined basis. Just an officer reacting to being filmed and escalating the situation using one of the strongest tools available. Even he acknowledged he couldn't point to a single real-world example to justify the concern. We then saw a pattern emerge. Lawful actions were grouped together to create the appearance of suspicion. A request for identification came before any proper legal footing. And even after the search produced nothing, the attempt was made to prolong the detention. Step by step, The process drifted away from what the law actually allows and expects. The key difference in how this played out comes down to awareness. The auditor understood his position. He knew when to cooperate and when to stand firm. He recognized the limits of the powers being used and didn't go beyond what the law requires of him. That clarity changed the outcome. Understanding your rights isn't just useful, it's protective. It gives you the confidence to navigate situations like this without being pushed beyond legal boundaries. When you know where the line is, it becomes much harder for anyone to move it.